All right, we are live. Sick. Well, welcome, Ben. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to do this little interview style YouTube video. I think I guess your whole story or your process and me getting to know you these past few months I mean, it's like if I was starting a window cleaning business, looking to do service plans and ads, like I think there's no better person than to ask you about it because you're just, I mean, you started, it's been like 2-3 months, right? Ads and service plans.
It's officially been like 54 days since my ads were first posted.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And when did we start doing coaching together?
So I got set up with you about a month before I was moving down to Arizona because I was
Yeah.
planning on starting the window cleaning.
Yep.
And I wanted to get all the systems dialed so I could hit the ground running. That
Yeah.
was that was the
Yeah.
plan.
So
Yep.
let's take it back to when you started because you have kind of a unique situation. You started out pressure washing and house washing, is that right?
Correct. Yep. So I started a pressure washing business about three to 4 years ago. Started
Okay.
off on my own. Everything I've ever done has always been self taught. So I never went and got door to door sales training from anybody. I never got coaching. It's all from my own independent research and from watching Instagram reels, YouTube videos, etc.
Yeah.
And so I started, scrolling on TikTok. Are you there?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Scrolling, saw some people making money off of pressure washing, and so I was like, dude, why can't I do that? That's kind of my mindset is always like I see someone doing something and I'm like, why can't I?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, why can't I do that? I mean, they're making $200 an hour. And so I really started hitting the pressure washing hard, and I started knocking doors.
Yep.
Brought on another guy from my school, for another summer. Then it ended up bringing my brother up. So I had three guys the following summer, and then I ended up having a team of like three sales reps, me, and then my brother was just a technician. Um,
Insane.
so, so
Yeah.
I had that going the last couple years. Um,
And
but I
then
mean, I
you
can
yeah.
elaborate
Yeah.
why I switched to window cleaning, or where do you want me to
Yeah,
go with
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's yeah. I wanted to just because people. I mean, well, window cleaning is different. Obviously, there's some overlaps with just having a pressure washing business and whatnot. So you do have some experience because I mean, we'll get into kind of the numbers you've been doing. But I think it's important for everyone to know like it's impressive, but like there also is experience with a previous like similar business, just with sales, dealing with customers, hiring, all those sort of things that you kind of get within that first like year or so out of the gate. So yeah, why jump? Why and when did you jump to window cleaning from your pressure washing ordeal?
so I've done. I was in the Midwest, and you could only do pressure washing for a couple months out of the year. And so that was a big thing. But I would hit the summers really hard. I mean, I was doing about 30K a month, but only for four months.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, so it's like it's really, does that count as a full business? That's not
Yeah,
sustainable. And this summer, when I actually brought in other guys, because I've never been trained from anybody, that's
yeah,
where I got into your content a little bit.
yeah,
Because I would like talk to my guys, tell them what I thought, and then I'd send them like your reels, or I'd send
yeah,
like your door to door talk, like, hey, like
yeah,
let's try this out, let's do this.
yeah,
And then you started talking about service plans,
yeah,
and then that's when I was like, every single day. I mean, I'm decent at this door to door thing, but every single day it almost feels like I'm having to fight and claw to
oh
keep
yeah,
jobs on my schedule, and and I'm like, and it's
the
not
window cleaning
sustainable.
rat race. Yeah,
Yes, yes. I'm having to fight and claw. I'm trying to I'm keeping jobs on my schedule. I'm making good money, but like people aren't really calling me in.
yeah,
Nobody's having me come back out and do their driveway again because it stays clean for 5 years. The
oh
house
yeah,
wash, maybe some people are having me do it once a year. You start talking about service plans, and I was like, dude,
yeah,
that's similar. I was
yeah,
like, I was like, well, I mean, why couldn't
yeah,
I'm like getting people like I was like the brain started turning, and I was like,
yeah.
wait, I could get people on every 3 months or every 6 months
And
and lock.
pressure washing, you can't do that. Is that you're saying?
Yes, and pressure washing I can't. Pressure washing is one-off jobs over and over, right? Like
Yeah,
somebody may have a new project. They go from
yeah,
house washing to wanting you to do their deck to wanting you to do their
yeah,
driveway,
yeah,
but I'm not doing their deck every
yeah,
single year. You know,
yeah. 100%. Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, I think that's like that's just, I mean, the coolest part about window cleaning to me is how recurring it is. I mean, there's some people that'll want it done monthly. Obviously, quarterly is kind of on average. You know, I know you sell a lot of biannuals being in Arizona, but like the recurring aspect of window cleaning is without a doubt, I mean, the best part of the industry. So, okay, so transition then to window cleaning. So, what was like that jump from pressure washing to window cleaning like in terms of like was it pretty just turnkey overnight, or did you have to figure out some things along the way, or?
I had to figure out some things. I mean, I'd been doing pressure washing. I dialed in
Yep,
my pressure washing pricing. But also I lived in the Midwest. So I
yep,
was I was planning to make a move. I was
yep,
to where I could do window cleaning year round,
yeah,
So it was like so I had to like first of all sell all my equipment, sell my business,
yep,
sell a couple contracts I had. So that was
yep,
a whole process. And then I
yep,
had to actually make the move and learn the window cleaning game, which is
yep,
why something like joining the coaching program, I mean, the value from it that I've actually gained is
yeah,
unmeasurable because
yeah,
of I have somewhere where I can ask people these questions that I had to do independent research to learn pressure washing. But now I'm in a spot where I can just ask, hey, what do I need to do to maintain my water fed pole?
yep,
You know,
exactly. Yeah, just simple things. Yeah,
somebody's gonna
yeah,
answer me.
yeah.
And so I
Oh,
made that
that.
yeah, made that transition, moved down here, and so I had to create a couple things, but it's definitely like eased it as far as like having other window cleaning business owners access to their minds, I would say.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you joined correct right as you were making the transition. Had you already sold window cleaning jobs before joining?
So I kind of like started talking to you guys, and then I bought like a just Lowe's squeegee mop bucket, and I was kind of doing it as like an add-on service. So I was selling house washing and then upselling window cleaning, and
Upselling
so I
window
maybe
cleaning. So
gotten
you're
to like
learning a little bit of it. Yeah.
yeah. So like because that last month, I was checked out of the pressure washing because I was planning on moving, but I
Yeah.
wanted to get a little head start,
Yeah.
and I still had my technician up there, so I still had to sell jobs for him. And so I kind of like started selling them. So I sold maybe like 15, no, maybe like 10 window cleaning jobs at the door, 10 to 15. And they were all of them were, I would say probably 10 out of the 15 were upsells, and then maybe five were
Upsells.
solo
Yeah.
window cleaning jobs. But
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then yeah, and then what was I guess just getting right into it. What'd you see in like the coaching program that made you like, okay, I wanna jump into this. I want to get kickstarted on window cleaning. And was it service plans or was it just more so for guidance on the window cleaning business? Or I guess both.
service plans,
Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah.
service. I mean that
Yeah.
like
So
that is why
because you
I'm
had the experience in your pressure washer business, like you know how to hire, right? You know how to get jobs, like that's figured out. It's just how at that point had you had sold a contract, like a signature for any sort of service, like pressure washing or window cleaning.
no, dude. I was using a map,
Yeah,
a printed out map, and scribbling to cross off streets that I had knocked. I had
yeah,
nothing. I didn't learn from anybody. So
yeah.
never done a contract, never done anything online presence. It was just me out there just banging doors with.
I think that's a common thing I see in like guys that are super successful in the program in the community is just always finding a way to make it happen and not sweating like the stuff that isn't going to move the needle, like just doing and then figuring out later is like the biggest thing is no I know that's a big thing. So okay, so getting into service plans, did what was kind of your process when starting, just for, I mean, people probably know, but just for starting service plans, like what was the first kind of step you took? Because I think it's like if anyone could take away anything from this call, that right there is the hardest part, is starting service plans. I mean, because we talk about who is it on the call, who's ripping one time cleans, I'm blanking on his name, but guys that are just ripping in one
Achilles,
time cleans, like doing what.
Achilles, maybe.
Yeah, Achilles. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Achilles. Like guys like Achilles, I've coached Jake, Brandon. I know they're doing 50, 60, 70K months and one-time cleans, but still not making that jump to service plans. So for anyone like just like, oh, I want to start service plans, I know it's the future. Like, what's that first kind of step to two steps
Okay,
that you
first,
took that you took in specific? Yeah.
well, first step that I took was learning the difference between selling over the phone and selling door to door.
Yep.
And
Okay.
that was the first thing that I wanted to dive into because it's just like these guys that are doing these 50, 60Ks, they're really good at door to door sales,
Yep.
56K a month. And so it's you can definitely it transfers like some of the skills, but you have to want to make that you have to be intentional with it, right? And so that's one thing that I was like I talked to you, I was like, how do I learn the door to door side, I mean, how do I learn the over the phone sale? And then it was getting the correct systems in place and how I'm going to actually lock these things in. And so for me it was, I'm looking at the big picture. I'm looking, you say this all the time, and you say to sell division, how you're going to sell your window cleaning business for 100 million.
Yep.
Same here. I'm
Same
looking.
here.
I'm going to sell this for 100 million. What kind of systems do I need in place? And so
Yep.
that's me. I'm not cheaping out on anything. Obviously, I
Yeah.
have the capital up front, so maybe some people, you have to do some other things on your own. But it
Yeah.
was setting up. It was getting set up with field routes. It was getting set up with ads.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
it was which ads is probably the most important because you have
Uh,
leads coming in.
yep.
So if I had to circle back, I would probably say getting set up with ads so people can come in, learning how to pitch them over the phone, and then having somewhere to actually sign them on a contract.
Simple as that. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think right there you said it. It's looking big picture because I think that was it for me. Like when we were going back and forth with like one time cleans and service plans, it wasn't until I learned from the Glide window cleaning of what they're doing with contracts, and I was like, okay, like this is like the future. So I need to just sacrifice now, maybe not make as much upfront cash or, recruit like these massive door to door sales teams and take the sacrifice, but then know what it's going to play in the long term. And I think like those two things, like what you said, obviously get set up on a CRM field routes that allows you to sell contracts, but it's ads and contracts is the long term play because if you look at long term, right, sustainability, those are the things that are going to get you there. You have the service plans that are going to keep adding customers to your arsenal, right? So you're not just getting them, doing them, and then finding a new one. It's like you're getting new ones while also doing the current existing ones. And then you have ads where, I mean, let's jump right into that. What has been someone who's done door to door and now like I think what I could say is confidently, you're someone who has without a doubt had the most success with ads in the program. So what has been your experience jumping from door to door to ads, and why do you think you've had success with ads? Just strictly speaking, the ad side of things.
So couple things. I made sure that my film was really good. I mean, I made sure it was solid. I asked you beforehand, hey,
Yeah.
what kind of tonality should I have in these ads? How should I present myself in these ads? So I was very intentional with how I was going to get these films. And now I don't know if that actually made a difference, but in my mind, I would like to think it did. I
Yep.
was very intentional with like because I want to do things the best. I want to be the best. So to
Yeah.
be the best, you have to ask questions and find out
Oh,
what the best are doing. And
100%.
so I wanted to first off film high quality, and then that's just one part because people are coming in. Then I wanted to find out what exactly are the best people doing when these leads come in. And
Yep.
so it's being very, very organized. So
Yep.
I have go high level organized. I went in there and I reset it to exactly how I feel like it would be the most optimal for me. They come in, I move them. If I talk to them, I move them to a sent quote section. So I
Yep.
have all the people I need to follow up that I've sent a quote, and I move them through the pipeline one
Yep.
by one. I have sections of if I need to contact them again in 2 months, I leave a note of when exactly I'm going to follow up with them, and I do follow up with them.
Yep.
And so that was one thing, setting up my lead management,
Yep.
and then perfecting the over the phone conversation that I'm having with these people. And
100%.
that's one thing that was definitely a learning curve. I recorded my first ever person on a phone, dude. I was
Yeah.
like butterflies. I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
like tweaking out.
Yeah.
I totally butchered it. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Oh
your
yeah.
first time knocking a door, you know? It's
First
like
time. Oh, dude. It's yeah.
yeah,
Selling even. I mean, it's different than door to door. Like the ads. It's like for me personally, as someone who has done all my sales on the doors and then getting on the phone, I was like, shoot, like they can't see me. Like it's a different
yeah.
kind of a, experience and sales process. So what have you done on the sales process side of things that has allows you to close at a pretty high level?
Yeah, so I first off I grabbed the pitch from you because I
Yep.
needed something to go off of, right? However, every business is different. And so I
Yep.
took the pitch from you and I mean I remolded the entire thing to the experience that I was having. One thing
Hmm.
like some people they would give me a different address than what was showing up. So for example, just little questions that I'm changing here and there, and then explaining the process of what I'm actually doing in the service I'm providing them. So I had
Yeah.
to make little changes like that. And then I watched the Hormozy video, and Hormozy talked about if he had some sales reps, what would he do? Or if you're training your sales reps, he said, now I didn't do this, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of talking, I did something similar, but he said, I would read the script all the way through, block out one word, read the
Yep.
entire script all the way through, block out another word until I've done it through the entire script and I have it in the back of my mind. And so
Yep.
that way, when I'm actually talking through this, when I'm talking through the script, I don't have to think about what I'm going to say. I think about what they're saying.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so then whatever they say, I have it in the back of my mind. I can just loop back to what my plan
Yeah.
is, right?
100%. And yeah.
And
And for
so
anyone, yeah, for anyone, I'll jump in and just say, for anyone just starting out, like take advantage being on the phones, take advantage of that, meaning that you can have the script pulled up next to you. Like you should in the first like few. I don't know if you have the script pulled up now, probably not. But like I know I the first I don't know however many calls, 50 to 100, first few days, I just had the script pulled up right next to me. So when I called them, I would just be reading off that rather than just kind of trying to remember and shoot off the hip. Like just like the doors, I mean, you can't read the script on the doors, but that's why I always say before you ever go out and knock a door, you have to have the pitch so memorized. And with ads, like have the pitch right up there when you're calling them, so that way you just keep flow and you're not, confusing people. I think that goes overlooked heavily.
I have three monitors. So like
Yeah,
behind you,
yeah.
like I'm
There,
looking at you, you're up at
there
one
you
of my
go.
monitors. I'll have the script pulled up. I'll have field routes. I'll have my go
Yeah,
high level. So I'm like, I got everything all up at once. So I
yeah,
absolutely had the script up at first.
yeah.
Um,
hundred
but
percent.
here's the caveat with that is, and this is something that I really took away when you brought on your inside sales rep, is I was talking to all these people and I would get sometimes they would after I give the quote they would just ghost me and I wouldn't hear from them again. And it's because I was just reading them the pitch. I
Mhm.
had the pitch, I had the pitch memorized, but I was just reading them what I had written down, and it just sounded like they were getting pitched.
Yep.
The one thing that I've really been trying to change is this is a conversation that I'm walking you. I'm figuring out how I can help you best because
Yep.
you need my help, right? That's why we're on the phone is because you need my help, and so I need to actually have a conversation to where it feels like I'm just helping you out and not like I'm just trying to get your signature,
hundred
right?
percent. Yeah.
And so
Oh,
I've changed
100%.
my framework, like just a couple little things at the beginning instead of like, hey, I got a couple quick questions for you. It's like, hey, I heard you might need some help with your windows. What
Yep.
exactly are you needing to get done?
Yeah. Yeah.
Open in, something like that. But
Yeah. Lionel, our inside sales rep at HRs, who's absolutely been just killing it. He got on our community call last week, and yeah, I mean, you were taking the most notes because you're the one in the most thick of it,
Mhm.
and I think that's a big takeaway that I've even learned from Lionel is just how important it is to, even though you're on the phone, they can't see you in person, still have those rapport building questions and have a conversation, make the customer feel comfortable. Because then if you do send the quote, right, they're thinking that, oh, this person I talked to was so nice, like, oh my, like I gotta call him back or I gotta let him know. Versus if it was
Mhm.
just like every other, person that gets on the phones trying to pitch them a service, they're just there's nothing memorable about it. So what questions have like you, or I guess what have you done to make yourself a little more memorable on the phones? Is it just kind of rapport questions, or you have like go
Questions
to
and
one
when
liner?
they people love to talk.
Yeah,
I mean,
They do.
You'll get caught up and somebody will just be talking and you won't even say anything for
Yeah.
5 minutes and they are
Yep.
just talking. The thing
Yeah.
is letting them talk and
Yeah.
agreeing with them. And so like when I ask a question like what exactly are you needing to get done, they'll go into like, oh, I got this one window here, stuff that's not even like helping me. Oh, but then I'm like putting up Christmas lights and I'm doing this, blah 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 blah. But I just let them talk about it because while that's not going to help me actually build out their quote, it's important to me to actually like I'm someone that we're having a conversation, and so
Yeah.
I'll ask, hey, what exactly are you needing to get done? And then when I
Yeah.
when I bring it up, I'll say like, yeah, we use the pure deionized water. Have you ever heard of that stuff? And then
Yeah.
I'll wait and
Yeah.
I'll let them like stew on it, and then they'll say like, no, I haven't, and then I'll like explain it in a very like human way where I'm like, well, actually, we hook up our deionized water tank to your home, and what
Yeah.
that does is the water runs through our deionized water tank and takes out 100% of the minerals. So two things are going to happen. It's going to dry completely spotless, and it's going to keep your windows cleaner a lot longer. So our
Yeah.
customers on a maintenance plan have us out, blah 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 blah. And then
Yeah. And it goes
but
through it.
because
Yeah.
before what I was doing was I was just like I had this long paragraph of of what I needed to say to get them on the plan.
Yeah.
No intermissions, no breaks, no spots for them to actually interject, and you need to
Yeah.
open the door for them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you used a good term, filler questions, which is really good for on the doors or on the phone. If you feel yourself rambling, which is without a doubt the most common thing I see with new sales guys, is just rambling, rambling, rambling. If you ever feel like you're rambling too much, it's so important to just ask that filler question to kind of keep them engaged, right? Keep
Mm-hmm.
them engaged and obviously have them do majority of the talking. So, um, I want to take it back real quick and just ask this question that's top of mind, and I think a ton of people like or anyone that is watching this is probably wondering, like, besides obviously knocking doors is difficult and you're in the heat. Like besides that, like why did you decide to go more in on the ads rather than the doors? Besides maybe
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the uncomfortable part about it.
So, well, I mean that is the reason.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be knocking doors all day every day. I wanted to actually own something. But then
Well,
too,
let's take the root of that for anyone even that does, let's say, knocking doors like myself. You can't you can't knock doors till you're 30 years old. You like even like I love knocking, but like I realized okay, knocking's great, but at the end of the day, it's not a sustainable thing. Like for you personally, like maybe if you grow a big door to door company, of course, like Glide's doing, like you can do that. But as me personally, like, I can't sustain on knocking year round for the next I don't know 10 years or whatever. So
and you are thinking very big picture, right?
exactly,
So when I think big picture, I mean this. It all comes back to this: is what's my end goal? Is to sell this for a ton of money.
100%.
And so what do I need to do is I need to build a business where people actually recognize the brand and they're calling me.
Yeah,
How do I
yeah,
actually build a business that people actually call me? Is one by having an online presence through ads.
yeah,
So that's one way is paid customers. But
yeah,
like when you look up window cleaning, like you're gonna have somebody at the top, and those not every window cleaning business is doing door to door. If you look at
yeah,
majority of businesses, they aren't doing door to door. Why do you go to
yeah,
McDonald's? Why do you go to your local grocery store? Whatever, because they have like some rapport built, and you actually and like when you think of groceries, you think of Walmart or whatever it is. And
yeah,
so how do I actually build that brand?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that door to door is the way you build that brand. Now, I think it's good for starting. It's good for getting money up front.
yeah,
Yeah. Like there's benefits to door to door, but I just think long term,
yeah,
it's just not the way to
100%.
do
And
it.
I think I can attest to this. I know you can attest to this. When you figure out ads, and it's not just the ads, because like we have the same guy that runs our ads. It's the process from when the lead comes in to actually then we're servicing the home. Like that whole process, once you figure out that, it feels like you unlock the secure factor with your window cleaning business. It's like, oh my gosh, like now that I have this process, like I just know if I spend this much on ads, I will get this amount of customers. And I mean, it's kind of an unlock. Like whereas door to door, I mean, you could have, with so many states where it gets cold, or like I experienced in Florida, the like, and I talk a lot about saturation, how it's non-existent, but all I know is the facts that when I started my window cleaning business door to door, the doors versus how they are now, night and day. Like, I mean, it is just, you have to be so much better, so much more dialed on everything on the doors now, and that's how it's going to get everywhere, right? Where ads, it's like you figure out the sales process, then it just becomes a turn dial where it's like, okay, we know how to do everything. Now it's like, how many jobs do we want to get, rather than like, okay, how do we get more jobs? So,
Yeah,
I think the
I got
big thing with ads,
two things to add
yeah,
here. So one thing with door to door, which is awesome because you're learning the ability to sell someone something, but you're the person that you're selling wasn't even thinking about getting their window cleaning before this,
yep,
right? So
yeah, that's a whole other thing, yeah,
you're convincing people that haven't even had the thought of getting their windows cleaned to potentially hop on a plan. Well,
yeah,
reverse that to people that are actually wanting their windows cleaned and
yeah,
now talk them into a plan.
yeah,
Now you have a customer that's for life versus just this
yeah,
one-time customer.
yeah,
And that's what, when you ask now what's a big reason why I wanted to do the ad side of thing, that was why. I didn't think of it right away, but that
yeah.
was why. Because I wanted to sell to people that wanted window cleaning.
Yep.
And
And for service plans, it's, I mean, there's a reason, like, there's a reason companies that rely on traditional marketing, like ads, have a higher renewal rate on their contracts than companies that are fully door to door. Because, yeah, they're selling to people that actually want their windows cleaned. And I know we're kind of, I don't want to say harping on door to door, but like, I still think there's a lot of pros with door to door, but like, I think it's important to understand the cons of door to door and also the pros of ads. Which, I mean, again, like someone who has had a lot of success with it, I think that's why we're talking about it. Not like we're against door to door. It's just for the average person, what's a more sustainable route, and that's without a doubt ads. So,
starting out, I mean, look, you
yeah,
knocked doors for longer than me. I knocked doors for probably for technically 4 years, but one of them was just a couple months.
yeah,
Um, we've knocked it. That experience is invaluable.
yeah.
Like of actually knocking doors. So
Oh,
I'm not going to
100%.
say that I'm not going to say that knocking doors is a bad thing.
Yeah,
It's probably one of the best things that you could
you can
probably
do
do just as
100%.
far as learning
Yeah,
sales.
yeah.
When I'm talking about actually growing my business to be
Business. Yep.
very very successful, that's when
Yep.
I'm saying
Exactly.
it's
No, it's
different.
so true. It's so true. Yeah, you said it there. Like the door to door is great for the personal development, for the business development. Like ads is going to be a lot more turnkey because again, it's like you figure out the sales process, the process of actually acquiring customers from the ads. Then it just becomes a game of like, how much do I want to spend to how many customers will I get from that? So, okay,
Mhm.
let's take now. Kind of covered a lot on the ads, service plans. Why are we so adamant about starting service plans? Or I guess
No, I have a good
it's,
answer for this. You continue.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, why are we so adamant about starting service plans with ads?
Because window cleaning has been around for 50, 100 years, however long, but
Yep.
service plans are within the last year or two. So
True.
I'm entering an industry that's been around forever, maybe hard to crack into, but not many people are doing service plans. So I'm still on the forefront of something that's in the industry, right?
Yeah.
And so
It's so true. It's
I have
exciting.
the
Yeah.
ability to get people on contracts before
Yeah.
everybody else
For
has.
everyone. Yeah.
That's
No,
why
I
if you're
yeah.
doing it, you need to hop on now because I'm
Yeah.
going to take them all. You're going to take them all.
Yeah.
Whatever. Those guys that are out here
Yeah.
already that are
No, I
doing it, going
yeah.
to take.
Like honestly, yeah, it's so true. And I mean you're saying it, and I'm honestly kind of getting goosebumps because I forget that. It's like window cleaning has been around forever, but like how often do we talk to a customer that's like, oh, like there's so many people we have to educate what a window cleaning service plan is. Like people when they even from ads that actually want their windows cleaned, they're not expecting to get pitched a contract. Like they're just not. It's not a super common thing. Not saying there's other companies that don't do it or that have done it in the past, but it is just a new thing for customers. So why? Okay, this is a good question. Why not run ads and do one-time cleans?
Okay. Well, two reasons. One, we're thinking about the big picture, and reoccurring revenue is how we sell for a high ticket. And
Yep.
number two, you're paying for X amount to acquire this customer. So for me, I'm personally paying $103 to acquire a customer. If
Yeah.
I'm paying $103 to acquire a customer, and maybe my average on the initial job is 250 to 300, and then I'm paying my technician, 25 to 30%. And then I
Yeah.
also have, my CRM, and I have insurance, and I have all these other expenses. I'm not making any money.
Yeah.
But when I'm selling a service plan, I'm not making any money on that first clean. So right
Yeah.
now, I mean, I'm new. I haven't made any like true profit.
True profit.
However,
Yeah.
that monthly revenue is starting to come in, the first of
Yeah.
it, it's
Yeah.
starting to come in. That second
Oh yeah.
clean, when we're coming back out in 3 months,
Yeah.
now I don't have that cost of acquiring the customer. That extra,
It,
that $100 is now just $100 profit,
dude,
right?
it's so like I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we noticed it at like six months. I mean, we started in June. We're really like this past month. I mean, I would say we're probably at like two texts on the daily that are filled with recurring customers, and that's just after like 6 months. So it's like stack that, and I know you've been at it for 3 months, so it's like get to that 6 month mark, and then you start really seeing it. And I can imagine just what it's going to be after a year. But like the thing to point out, what Ben just said is it's again tying it back to the big vision. It seems like to be the theme of the call is that first year with acquiring the customer, we may not be making that much. But if we do a good job, which is like that's a whole other topic of the service, like if we do a good job, these customers will hopefully stay for 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years. Like again, these are people from ads that care about their windows getting clean. So as long as you do a good job, they shouldn't ever cancel their contract.
You,
And
you
then
can't even put a number on the lifetime value of a customer. You
can't
can't.
yeah. And
Yeah.
like going in and again, I mean we're just glazing window cleaning, but going into an AI world, like we're going in like I don't mean to get on this whole tangent, but like so many people's jobs are going to be replaced in the next 10 years. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows AI is coming for your job. But services, home services, they're here to stay, and it's like never a better time to get into home service, and let alone to like basically like what you're doing and what we're doing is like taking an industry that's kind of outdated and then like kind of putting a little modernized twist on it with like recurring revenue. I know pest control has done it with the recurring aspect, but window cleaning's new into it. So I know because I wanted to keep this call more for like service plans and ads because that's where you've had without a doubt the most success in, and it's super impressive. But like
Yep.
touch a little bit on the fulfillment side, like what like because you have one or two cleaners right now fully
Just
kicking.
hired my second technician about a
Yeah.
week and a half ago.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So your first cleaner though was pretty solid. So what what's kind of and obviously you had some cleaners with pressure washing. What's kind of been your key to finding reliable technicians? Like just if you were to sum it up.
okay, so my first technician was from somebody that I knew that a little bit older of a guy had gotten laid off, and he needed a job. He worked in blue collar for a very long time, and so I
Hmm.
offered him the I needed a technician up in the Midwest where I was doing pressure washing. Had him come up. He's originally from Arizona, so when I was moving back down, I said, "Hey, I'll pay you because obviously pressure washing, I was doing 1,500 a day on the truck. Window cleaning, or maybe 6 to 800. So I was like, I'll up your percentage because one thing that's been really key to me as far as like getting my technicians excited is they know that I want them to make money. I
Yeah.
don't want you to go out there and you to do something and think that you're doing this to make me more money. I want you to have the mindset that you're going out there to do it so that way you can make more money. And
Yeah.
so that I kind of like pressed that vision to him. I was like, hey, like I want you to make as much money as possible. Like I know
Yeah.
your situation, so like I'm gonna give you this. And so I mean that was somebody I knew, but this most recent hire was from Indeed, and I can
Yep.
elaborate on that if you'd like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
okay,
like, I'll say too. We just filmed a YouTube video on hiring technicians, and Hermosi said it himself. The hardest part about a cleaning business is the finding and retaining quality technicians. So the more info that is put out there about finding and retaining good technicians is the better for everyone. So yeah, what's been your experience with Indeed? Because that's how I get my cleaners, by the
yeah,
way.
okay.
Yeah.
So I posted Indeed ad. I mean, I got a bunch of applicants right away. I started calling them.
Yeah.
A couple of them didn't have trucks, you know, whatever. You have your vetting questions. A couple of them didn't pass. A couple of them I did like, and asked a couple for like further information. Two of them ghosted me, and then two of them actually came out for a training day. So I got two guys out for a training day, and what I did is I went out and I met them, and I had my technician, my previous technician who was training them. I gave him
Okay.
a set of things that I was looking for. So I
Yeah.
said, looking for somebody who's not complaining. I'm
Yep.
looking for somebody who is maybe gonna go out of their way to help you out without
Yep.
necessarily being asked. You
Yeah.
know, so like
So
they're
good.
gonna yeah, they're
So
gonna help you out without being asked. They're not just sitting around waiting to be told what to do,
yeah,
what's
dude.
next.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah, a couple of those things. And so he had two guys come out, and I met Tristan. Tristan is my new hire, and he was checking all those boxes. The
Yep.
one thing that he didn't have was a ladder rack for our extension ladder,
Okay.
but he had checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
My technician liked him more than the other guy,
Yeah.
and so I decided to hire him and make it work. Right now, he's
Yeah.
just strapping the ladder to the top of his car.
Dude, let's go.
I told him I'd buy him a ladder rack. I'd split it with him, but
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
I don't
Just
really
you,
care
you
about
could
that.
fold down the passenger seat and stick it there, no? Or
It's a
fold it
little bit
back.
too long, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
yeah. We've orchestrated some crazy setups in like small cars. So I'll have to send you a
yeah.
picture what we did with our technician yesterday. But
Sure.
okay. So yeah, that's briefly on the technician side of things. Let's finish, or I want to, yeah, let's jump into kind of the community aspect of it, because I think that's something that a lot of guys starting a business like just simply don't have. Like I even told my business partner when we started, I'm like, dude, if I didn't have you, like this would be really tough because you're kind of alone out there. It's entrepreneurship's a lonely world. So what have you felt from the community that has helped you with your business?
So I can absolutely go out and start a business. I've done it with the pressure washing. I know I have the capabilities, but it's just so much easier when you have a community. I mean, it's like a cheat code. So it's like skipping all of those little steps that are going to take you forever. It just depends how fast you want to grow. Like
Yeah,
I have a couple other communities I am for other ways for other things that I do. And when you have a group of like-minded people, first of all, it's going to motivate you.
100%.
Secondly, secondly, you're going to have a framework for what you actually need to do. And then
Yeah,
third, you can pick people's brains. And so
yeah,
I have used you as somebody to pick your brain, and obviously you have other people that you pick their brain.
yeah,
But just having access to that has allowed me to. I mean, I don't doubt that I would be doing some window like decent numbers.
yeah,
Like I would be okay, but that's definitely taken me to the next level, and it's honestly made me believe that I can take it to the next level because I'm like
yeah,
Austin's doing this.
yeah,
I honestly I get to learn from your mistakes
yeah.
directly hand in hand.
Firsthand.
It's
Yeah.
for me, it's actually almost perfect because I'm trying to grow at the same rate as you, but you're a step ahead. And
Oh,
so
100%.
you have to go and experience these things first, and then I get to hear how you messed up or what went wrong,
Yep.
and I can actually implement that and learn from it. And
That,
so,
that's the
yeah,
whole point of coaching, mentorship.
yeah,
Like I've joined plenty of programs at this point. It's minimize mistake, accelerate growth, right? You're going to minimize mistakes from learning from someone who's made them so you don't have to make them. And you accelerate growth because instead of figuring out, say you're dealing with a new problem, instead of figuring out that new problem and taking weeks and months, you're just asking the person who's probably had that problem or asking the community who's maybe dealing with that problem too, and then figuring out that problem right then and there. You said
yeah,
something though, and it seems to be sorry. The theme, like you've said this so many times, and I think like it is without a doubt the most powerful thing you've said to me. And I don't even know if you realize like how important this principle that you talk about all the time is, but it's the fact of if he's doing it, why can't I? So talk on that because you say that all the time.
hmm
And I don't know if there's something that happened in your life that has brought to that. I don't know if it's something you've just always felt, but I want you to explain because I think that is right there. It's like so many guys, they look at, I know there's a couple guys in the program where they're like, oh my gosh, like, how are you doing so much revenue? Like, that's crazy. But at the end of the day, it's just an input game. It's like Ben just done more inputs. So why do you have the mindset that it's like, if this guy's doing it, I can do it.
Yeah, I think that when you're first starting out, or when you're starting something new, you are you are kind of in like a no man's land where you kind of don't know exactly what's going on and what and how. Like if you haven't made the jump to even start a window cleaning business, you're just like, oh, these guys
Yeah,
like they're just so successful. Like I don't get how they do it. Like what's going on? And what I realized is like that's such a limiting mindset. You need to break that barrier, because
yeah,
there you can look at it two ways. You can be discouraged from somebody being successful, or you can be encouraged. And that's why when these people like post content of them like doing all these numbers, you're going to read the comments, you're going to see some people that are like, this is so unrealistic, blah 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 blah. But there's that 1% that actually is like, oh wow, like you're making this work, like I can do it. And I
yeah,
don't know exactly where I got that mind frame from. um I think it started from like me like kind of doing things, and I've always kind of I've had the mantra where it's like you really only have yourself.
yeah,
And like at the end of the
100%.
day, it's up to you. And I have a very big like full accountability, what
Yeah,
everything in your life, like you're fully responsible for, the good, the bad,
bad. Yeah,
whatever it is. And so I think like having that mentality where, other people, like I've talked to them and they're like, oh, like I'm gonna do this, or somebody would ask me like what I'm gonna do. And
yeah,
it's like I don't even want to explain to them like my vision, because they're
yeah,
just gonna doubt you. Right.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like they're just gonna doubt you. And so I think like for foregoing all the other people like that are like maybe gonna say like something that's limiting your mindset, and just saying like, I see somebody started this out of their garage. I see Austin went out and knocked doors here and he started service plans. It's like, what is different about Austin? I
yeah,
mean, he's just doing
yeah,
it. Like
yeah,
really like I mean, obviously you have discipline, which it comes
yeah,
down to, but like
yeah,
you didn't start with discipline. You had to earn. You had
yeah.
to
We
every
build it. Yeah,
everything comes down to like the bare bone. You can break everything down up to how you got to where you're at. And so I
yeah.
was like, well, it's not like this guy's any special. If I just took it down to where he started, then
That's it.
then I could grow to where he's at, right?
Simple as that. Simple
Yeah,
as that. I think yeah, obviously there's a lot of fake online and everything, but the real people online like that have accomplished like these massive accomplishments that to us like normal people they seem like holy, like how is that even possible? But it really boils down to just the amount of inputs they've done on that said thing. So if we're talking like sales related stuff, it's not that we're better at sales. It's just there's been more inputs that have been put in to then get us to the point to where you have success with whatever it is. It could
You-
be your business, gym, sales, doesn't matter.
while you've been talking, I've kind of thought, because I didn't really have a great answer for that, but now I realize like it came from a stem. Everyone intrinsically knows what they need to do to be successful,
Yeah,
and they just don't do it. And I think what really turned the corner for me was constantly telling myself I'm going to do something and not doing it,
yeah,
and that lying to yourself over and over. And then one day
yeah,
I was just like, no, like
yeah,
I cannot lie to myself. If I say I'm gonna do something, I need to
yeah,
go out and do it. And I think
yeah,
when you actually turn that mind frame, because I swear, whatever it is, when you're not supposed to be doing something, you're not supposed to be doing it. When I'm doom
100%.
scrolling, when I got leads to call, I know that I'm supposed to be calling leads, right?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
I I know everyone knows. And so when
yeah,
you actually set out and you say like I'm going to do this, and you're a man of your word,
yeah,
I think that's what gets you to the point where, okay, if I say I'm going to incorporate KPIs into my business because Austin just did that, and then I
yeah,
actually go out and do it,
yeah.
that's what's
It,
actually going to move the needle. Because he just did it, why can't I? Right?
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's a superpower. It really is because then it's like once you become that person, then you can do anything. You know what I mean? Like you can set massive goals, but if you're that person, like if Ben sets a goal, he wants to be the next, I don't know, Christian Bumstead. You know what I mean? Like he he actually he actually in theory could. Like, how old are you? 22?
24, 24.
24. Yeah, 24. Like, okay, we might be a little old for that. But to put the whole analogy together, it's like if you set out a big goal, it may seem like that's not even humanly possible. But then you just work backwards and think, okay, let's start small. What are today's inputs on that? And then you stack that over days, months, weeks, years for massive goals. It's a year's thing. And then it's like, oh wait, it's actually not as hard as I thought. But yeah, it's the
So
biggest thing.
I played football in college at a
Yeah.
small college. But I remember a specific like not argument, good faith argument that I gotten in with one of my teammates talking about how like jacked this guy on the other team was.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, it's just because he lifts more than you and he eats better than you and he's more consistent. And he's like, no, dude, like he just has really great genetics. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I truly believe that I could look like that guy. You know,
Yeah.
call me delusional. Call me
Yeah.
absolutely delusional. But I believe if I put the time in, if I didn't miss a lift, if I
Yeah.
ate rice, chicken, egg, whatever every single day, I would get to that point.
100%.
I'm
100%.
it's
And
just
and
not.
even if you're wrong, like say it is genetics, who and what? Like Hermosi always says, like, okay, and it's like that doesn't help you get to looking like that guy. If that's what you're trying to solve. If you want to look like that guy, if thinking it's genetics, well then it's going to be genetics and you're never going to look like that guy. Like that's the guarantee. You're guaranteeing that I'm never going to look like that guy. But if you so called have delusion with it, well then maybe there's a possibility because you'll do what's in your control to get there. So no, I think
Absolutely.
that's good. I know we kind of went on a tangent with that, but it's it's so powerful because again, like to take it full circle, it's like the ads, the window cleaning, the service plans, like that's just our vehicles. At the end of the day, as human beings, like Ben could go out and apply the same principles that we're talking about and go start a t-shirt business, right? And he's going to be successful at it. Like I know he will because the principles are what matters, right? The stuff is taught through just action and doing it. So okay, let's end the call with what everyone probably wants to know, which is like the numbers. So what are you spending right now a day on ad spend in med ads?
I just upped another $50 to my ad spend yesterday. So
Okay.
for the first month, I was spending $100 a day.
Okay.
And then I was having success. And so I talked to my ads guys and I was like, hey, I want to up 25% every single week until the numbers don't make sense.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's what I
That.
said. I was like,
Yeah.
I do not care how much it is.
Yeah.
Like, as long as like I'm still getting a good cost per lead and the numbers make sense, then keep upping me. And
Yeah.
so currently I'm at $200 on my main set of ads, and we're testing another set of ads for $50 per day
Let's
on
go.
ads.
Yeah.
So
And what have you sold from the ads and what have you added in annual recurring revenue in terms of service plans?
yeah, so we've added let me pull it up. I believe it's I know the rough numbers. So I've added about 38,000 in annual reoccurring revenue, and in 53 days I've done a total of 50,000 that is on the books
It's
in
insane.
total.
It's
So
insane. That's like that's insane. Wow. That's freaking wild numbers. Okay. Last question I have for you. If anyone's on the fence about joining our community, elite window cleaning community coaching program, what would you say to them?
if you want to have a community of like-minded people that are actually going to help you move the needle in your business, it's definitely something that's worth investing in. Something like a coaching program is an investment in yourself. So join if you are ready to make that internal investment to act and actually tell yourself that I'm about it and I'm going to take action and do what you actually stay true to your own word. Do what you say you're going to do. But
100%.
absolutely worth it. I think you've helped me in more ways than I could even count as far as like actual implementation into my window cleaning business. And that's
Yeah, dude.
putting aside the mentality and just asking other people in the group questions. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
And
it, man. Appreciate you taking the time and getting on this call. I actually had the pleasure to go when I was in Arizona a couple weeks ago. Ben and I went and played golf. So meeting you in person, it's like, dude, you're a real dude, and where you're gonna take the window cleaning business is gonna be insane. Because again, like whether it's window cleaning or whatever else it is, like I know you know the principles it takes to be successful. And it's cool to see. It's cool to see firsthand. It's impressive. I don't think you understand how rare it is because I've coached a lot of guys now, and it's like it's unreal. So sweet,
Well, one
dude.
thing I'll say to you is I appreciate all the advice and the help that you've given. One thing is for other people that are thinking is you've given out the framework, and so it's a matter of executing it. And so I appreciate you on giving me the advice and letting me spitball ideas off you, and even just all the insight that you give on the group calls. I think it's super helpful for everybody, and I think you can only lay out the framework so much,
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna do
whether
it
people decide to execute is on them. And I will say,
completely.
anybody that's actually in the group and decided to watch this, actually take the time to execute
Yeah,
because and stop putting stuff off.
yeah,
One thing, like just make the
yeah,
move, make the jump, start selling service plans. First of all, I don't know why that
100%. Yeah,
I can't even fathom why someone wouldn't want to sell a service plan personally.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah. Oh,
yeah, do it.
100%.
Well, but I
Oh,
appreciate it, man. And
absolutely, dude.
and
Appreciate you jumping on. Yeah, we'll conclude this. Peace, everyone. Thanks for watching. Till next time.
I'll see you.